Okay, folks, somebody's lying here. I don't know who it is or what's going on. I don't know why we can't seem to get the truth out of anybody. But I've been following this story for about a week or so. Well, since it dropped, and I don't know. I don't know why we can't just get to the truth, to the bottom of the story. For those that don't know what happened, we have a game that was played. I think on or about August. Well, it was a couple Fridays ago, around August 30th, maybe. So we have a volleyball player. She's up on the screen here. It's a great volleyball player, by the way. She stated that she heard racial slurs while playing. Um, there's some different stories on what exactly happened, who it was reported to, what their actions were after it was reported to them. There's tons and tons of different YouTube videos and news videos about both sides of it. We have some folks that are saying it never really happened. She made it all up. And then we have other folks who are saying that the school's hiding it and no one wants to come forward for fear of retribution from the school. But I did just grab something that was kind of interesting. I thought I'd share this with you guys. So I was reading through a police report. I'm not going to put it up on the screen. I was reading through a police report. And within the police report, there, an officer, I'm not going to throw his name out there, an officer has stated that the individual who was banned was not shouting anything while the Duke player was serving. His words verbatim. We have also watched the video. We did not observe that behavior from him. So there was somebody in the stands or in the seats. Wasn't even a student at BYU actually. He was pointed out by someone, potentially Miss Richardson, as being the person that said the racial slur, had been stating, saying the racial slur over and over and over again. Matter of fact, one of the quotes was, she was quoted as saying she very distinctly heard a very strong and negative racial slur. Nobody knows what the racial slur was. I know there's a lot of conjecture out there about what the slur was. There's particular words that, shouldn't be said, period, in today's time and era. But if it was that particular word, yeah, I mean, something should come of this. Obviously, should come of this. But the odd thing is, she never came out and said what the racial slur was. Now, I know she has some family members that have posted some comments. I believe her godmother was brought up on several other videos on some rants that she posted. And she's suggesting what that racial slur was. I couldn't tell you. I wasn't at the game. I don't know what she said. I don't know what this person said, and I don't know what she heard or what she didn't hear. I don't know. I wasn't there. The thing that strikes me the most about this whole thing is somebody's lying. Somebody is definitely lying. The the position of the police is they actually stood next to this gentleman who was seated. They stood next to him while she was playing for I think you would call it like the fourth quarter. He didn't say anything. Her claim is that he continued to shout these racial slurs throughout the entire game, including the fourth quarter, while she was serving. So somebody's lying. Either the police are lying or she's lying. In an enclosed environment like that, it would be nearly impossible for people that are sitting near this individual or around anyone for that matter to not hear something that can be heard out on the court. I don't remember what the dimensions of the court are anymore. I haven't, like I said, I don't follow volleyball, and even when I was in high school and college, very seldom did I even play. I didn't really like it, to be honest with you. It's kind of boring. But based on what I've seen and what I've heard, this person was probably sitting within 30 to 40 feet of her. So for her to have heard it 30 to 40 feet away, the officer that's sitting or standing right next to him would have heard this. So again, either she's lying or he's lying. So is the officer lying or is she lying? I don't know. I wasn't there. That's for you guys to figure out. Somebody chime in, if you know some more to the story. The other thing that's really puzzling about this whole thing is, in today's era where everybody has, 6 to 8 different cell phones, I realize only one of them is probably active, but we all have a drawer full of old cell phones. Some of them are probably broke. Most of them are probably broke. It seems really odd that no one has any footage of the game that they're willing to share to the public. Maybe they shared it with the police, and the police aren't sharing it with the public, that being us. I don't know. But something is definitely not right here. Somebody at that game had to have had a cell phone after repeated racial slurs were thrown out. Somebody at that game had to have had a cell phone and recording it. With all the Tic Tac videos and, the Instagram. I just find it very, very odd that somebody doesn't have a little pocket camera out rolling, trying to be the next big thing on Tic Tac. I don't understand how this isn't being brought to light or why it's not being brought to light. So there's something going on here. I don't know if the school has put some pressure on the police, or if maybe it's under investigation and that's the reason the police won't release those details. Maybe the student, the volleyball player, Miss Richardson, maybe she thought she heard something and now she's in too deep and she can't backpedal out of it. I don't know. These are all just theories that I've read all across the internet. I personally, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. To me, it's all conjecture at this point. Until we get some final details in writing, we can only guess as to what really happened. The reason this is becoming such a big deal is, for those that haven't paid attention, the Duke women's basketball team has canceled their game with BYU. They were supposed to play the first game, season kickoff, for the women's basketball team at BYU. Their head coach, Duke's head coach, pulled the plug on it. She's not comfortable with it. That's her right. Their athletic director over at Duke is behind her 100%. She's saying she's not comfortable with it. Doesn't want to subject her team to this type of environment. I totally get it. That's her right. But here's the interesting part about this. If it comes to light that this is just another Juicy Smollett case, and this never really happened, now you've got some serious restitution, because what comes with any basketball, be it men's, women's, college, NBA, what's the biggest thing in basketball? Money. Merch, ticket sales, concession, and who knows who's going to follow suit, what other schools are going to follow suit after Duke has canceled their game. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But if it comes to light that this person that they called out in the stands made this racial slur, he could potentially be on the hook for some restitution for lost revenue. If it comes out that Miss Richardson has made a false statement and potentially cost both schools some lost revenue, she could potentially be on the hook for some restitution as well. Now, granted, it's civil; it's not criminal. I don't know if there would be any criminal charges filed against her or this other person. I don't know that area very well. I don't know what the likelihood is that the police department would even pursue anything for what's being dubbed as racial slurs. Don't know. And ultimately, it doesn't really matter what the police say. What matters is what the prosecutor is willing to take to court. So we'll see where this goes. This one here is just kind of, it spiked for a couple of few days, no pun intended. Then it kind of slowed down, and there were a lot of people who jumped on YouTube and some other social media platforms and were stating that the whole thing was made up. Now there's some conjecture floating around that the school's hiding it. They don't want anybody to know about it. That's why they're not coming forward with any of the video. The school has the videos. I'm sure there were news media there that had cameras rolling. Somebody has the videos of the crowd, and they're not being released. I don't know why. Probably because there's still an ongoing investigation. But more to come on this. We'll follow this and see where it goes. I can't share where I found the police reports that were filed, but once they become public, I'll post them out here and let everybody take a look. But the police are emphatic that this person they singled out and banned from all of the BYU events did not say anything. There is actually two different officers that were, one of them standing directly, well, it doesn't matter where he was standing. He was within earshot. If she heard it, he definitely would have heard it. He's stating that he did not hear anything. And then, of course, there's another officer backing him up saying that he didn't hear anything either. And then you have all the students that were surrounding this person that they've banned. None of them are coming forward and stating that they've heard anything. So, I guess more than anything, if someone was at that game and you have some phone video, some footage, something, it might help just to quell this whole thing and settle it down if you could just share that video. And if you don't want to share the video, perfectly fine. But maybe share it anonymously or something like that so that we can really understand, did this really happen or not? That's what everybody wants to know. Everybody knows it should never happen. It shouldn't. There's not in today's era. That's ridiculous. But I think everybody's question at this point is, did this really happen? So if you know anything, if you know something, say something. I think that's what we're all kind of used to hearing. And we'll follow this and we'll see where it goes. Thanks, guys.